So, hey everyone, welcome to the webinar. Not a lot of people showed up today just because we forgot to send out reminders and we have GoToWebinar reminders turned off. But there is one question that came in from one of the two users that's on that I decided I wanted to record the webinar for, and it was about backlinking. And the specific question was, when linking to a money site, is it better to link with branding links? And what I'm going to show actually is the site Project Supremacy V3. We just got a new website designed, and I'm going into the process of optimizing everything on the site. So I'm going to just show you the basic structure of the site quickly. So we have the front page, which is like our software. Then we have different features of the software, like the managed WP features, the schema features, optimization features, plugin features, but then we also have a blog. And I'm going to want to rank. So these are all pages on the main site, and then on the blog, it's all posts. So all the blog posts I'm going to want to rank in Google for different features as well. So like schema duplicator and how to get star ratings in Google. So here's how I set it up, and I use Project Supremacy V3 to do this. I use a feature of Project Supremacy V3 called the Project Manager, and I won't explain how the project planner works. You can actually go to the webinar replays and just look at different replays for when we talk about the project planner. But basically what I do is I wanted to split it up into different sections. So this project right here is for the home page. So I wanted to optimize all the pages on the home page. So what I did to get it started is I actually went to actions and I go on create new groups from existing pages and posts. And then what I do is I select only pages. I only want to look at the pages, and then I only brought in, so I'll show 10 entries or 50 entries here. I only brought in the pages for the new front page, so the PSB3 2019 edition, just those 5 pages, because I want to optimize for those in this particular group. So once I brought them in, I select them, then I say optimize, and it pulls them in. And then what I can do is actually look at the title, the URL, the description, and the H1 of each group, and then start optimizing from there. So let me sort this descending to your ascending. So you can see I labeled them. 1 is the home page, 2 is the WP manage page, 3 is the schema page, 4 is the optimization page, and 5 is the plugin page. And I've already started this, and you can see that. So like the WP management page, what I would do from this point is then I would start keyword research. Okay, and I would go use the keyword research tool to start finding keywords that relate to WP management, and I put them in this group. I pull the volume, I pull the CPC, and I pull the basic competition metrics for it. And then I look at a keyword cloud for that group. And the bigger ones mean that they're showing up more times. So if I actually click on this, it'll highlight where in those keywords the word WordPress shows up. And it also shows me, you can see that the little number floating above the keyword. It shows me that WordPress shows up 6 times within these keywords. So that's a pretty important word that I want to work into my optimization if I want to try and rank for all of these keywords. So WordPress management, plugin, the bigger words are the more important ones. So you can see actually that's literally what I did. I went WordPress management plugin in my title. The URL, I used WordPress management, and then in the description, PSV3 WordPress management plugin. You can see I really optimized hard for those 3 words, WordPress management and plugin. And then I tried these other words like managed services, best, stuff like that. I try to work them in as best I can throughout the URL description or the H1, so that I'm trying to get all the keywords worked into the optimization for everything. And I do that for every page. So that's how I'm optimizing the home page. Now, to answer your question, when you're asking about what backlinks will I start building, literally the best backlinks that I could start with is, number 1, if I really wanted to, I could go use a brand like Project Supremacy V3 and send it to this URL if I want to rank. So remember, the first thing you got to keep in mind is what keywords do you want to rank for? And it's going to be these keywords, right? So now what keywords or what anchor text do I use to backlink to this URL in order to rank for these keywords? Well, I'm already optimized for these keywords. Then I have to start choosing my anchor text. So the first one, if you really want to be very safe, the best things that you can start with are like you said, brands. So it would be Project Supremacy V3, or generic anchor text, which would be stuff like click here because those are the two most common things that people would link to a page for naturally. But if you want to really control your anchor texts, then what I would do is I would actually start using these keywords one by one, or at least in order of importance. So I might start with manage WordPress as my first anchor text, and then WordPress management is my second anchor text, and WordPress manager is my third anchor text, and just work down the list and use these as backlinks, and then sprinkle in you know, the generics and the brands. So it's always a lot safer to use generics and brands, but it's a lot more powerful to use exact match. So that would be how I would backlink this. And when the other thing you kind of have to keep in mind is how easy or hard is it going to be, like basically how many links is it going to take to rank for some of these keywords. So if it's going to take me, say, 50 links, then I'm going to want to definitely optimize my portfolio of links. If it's 50 links, then maybe I only want to use 5 to 10 as exact keywords, you know what I mean? And then 20 or 30 of those is generic, and then the last 10 or 15 is brands, because I need to balance out my portfolio. But that depends on how many links I need. So if that's typically more affiliate style marketing, and this I would call affiliate style, because you're not ranking in a local market. I'm trying to rank for WordPress management plugin. So the other thing I can do is actually just go to Google and look at the competition, and use a tool like Ahrefs or Moz to look at the top results and how they're ranking for their terms, right? So you could do something like Ahrefs. I don't know if you guys have a subscription to that, or Majestic. Either one of them will work. So we would just do sign in. Now I'm on a free plan over here, so I'm only going to get to do one search. Okay, so enter a domain URL or a topic. So we're going to do the same topic, WordPress management plugin. And we're going to look at the sites that are ranking and see how many links they have in order to rank, and what type of anchor text they're using. So you want to analyze your competition, right? So you can use tools like this. Another good one actually really is the Moz bar, which I don't even have it turned on here. Let me see. But that'll give you an idea. The Moz bar will kind of show you each site, how powerful it is, how many links it has coming in, and then you can click on it to get more detail about how many links. So it's always good to look at your competition, and typically for harder keywords like WordPress management is going to be like 70 million competing results. The smarter thing for me to do there would be, I definitely have to balance out my portfolio. So I would start with like Project Supremacy V3, then I would go with Manage WordPress, then I would do like 3, like click here, a URL, website, and then I would go to WordPress management next, and then I'd go WordPress Manager, Project Supremacy V3, and I'd start really balancing it out. And I really use the keywords that I want to rank for and the optimization from the project planner in Project Supremacy V3 to really help me aid in my backlinking. Okay, so now to back up a little bit, remember when I said I wanted to optimize Project Supremacy V3, the first place that I wanted to optimize was the homepage. So what I did was I pulled in only those 5 pages so that I could work on those 5 pages. And you can, this is, like I said, this is just the beginning stages of me doing this. You can see this, the homepage doesn't even have optimization yet, and neither does the plugin page, because I haven't decided what I wanted to do, but schema, WP manage, and optimization are done. The next area that I said I wanted to optimize was my blog. Okay, so what I did there, if I go back to projects, okay, it's under features. Okay, so, or sorry, blog. So I'll load that one, and I did the same thing. I created a project called blog. I went to actions. I said create a group, create groups from existing pages or posts. This time I selected posts, okay, and I pulled in my posts. And I'm missing one because I actually created a new post, so we can actually pull that one in there. So there, now we have 4. Now on each of these, I can do the same thing and optimize each of my posts, but I'm doing it in a different spot. I would do keyword research. What keywords do I want to rank for? And you can see I haven't even got to that point with these yet, where I'm doing keyword research. I'm just doing my, these are the blog post URLs and titles and descriptions. once I have my keywords in that I want to rank for, these might change, right? So that's kind of the two ways that I'm doing things, or the two projects that I set up in Project Supremacy, so that I don't get overwhelmed, because what I could have done in a project is just pulled in every page and every post and started optimizing. But when you're looking at that many boxes on the project planner, you can kind of get a little bit confused. So I like to break it up. This is the blog optimization. This is the onboarding optimization, is our training videos for people that join. Our V3 is the homepage. Features is actually a group that I have. It's like future planning for like different features of the plugin that I want to create a blog post for and optimize for it. So you can see I already have the features, but there's nothing there right now, because right now it's just an idea, right? I do have the keywords though, because I started with keyword research. So there's lots of ways that you can do this. You can start with pulling in your pages or posts. You can start with an idea, like I want to rank for the WordPress cloning, which is a feature of our site. So I want to create a blog post about WordPress cloning. So I start with keyword research, right? And then from here, once I know what keywords I want to rank for, then I would do my title, my description, and it's pretty simple, like really. Let me do this. Let's grab the volume of the CPC. And let's see how many people are working. So people are already working on it. But all I do is I load up the cloud, WordPress, clone, duplicator, WP, and site. So to create a title, I could do something like this. Okay, so I know that these are the most important keywords in this group that I want to rank for: WordPress, duplicator, and clone. But I also know I need WP and site in there. So my title could literally be that, and then I could just add any extra wordage that I want, right? Just call it that if I wanted to. And then in my description, I could go, if I wanted to be really aggressive, I would use these words again, or a variation of them. So I could even, if I wanted to be a little bit less aggressive, I could say clone and duplicate WP sites. So there you go. I just got clone, a variation of duplicator, WP, and site in the first 4 words. Right, I could do something like that. So you can see how I'm optimizing this page. And then my H1, WordPress, cloning, and I can use another variation of the word duplication, right? And then I can save that for later. So I'm already starting to optimize. Now, when I actually go write the post, well, I could do this 2 ways. So now we have a basic bit of optimization in here. There's no URL set yet. And this is just a plan. It's not actually pulled from a page, because V3 works actually 2 ways. You can either pull an optimization from a current page, or you can create an optimization first, like I've done here, and then say, okay, this is how I want to optimize. Now create the page. So what I can do is go like this. I'm going to create new post from this group now that I have it optimized, right? And it just created the post. Oh, the URL's missing. Sorry, I got to create a URL. So I would call this, let's call it WordPress. We won't even say WordPress. We'll just say clone and duplicate, or duplicator. Or maybe I'll use WP, because Google knows WP is a short form for it. So there's a great URL, WordPress clone duplicator. So let's save that. Okay, now that the URL's in, I can create a new post. There we go. There's my post now. It actually went and created the post for me, and it inserted all the elements for me. So if I go back here, okay, we can see there's our title, there's our URL, there's our description, and there's our H1. Now on the page, there's our H1. We'll actually change this to and. Okay, that's actually an H1. It's spelled wrong, but there's our title. Our URL's not set correctly yet because the page is in draft mode, but as soon as you can see it is set here. but it's in draft mode. It's just not set here until this page is saved, and there's our description. So it's already set up, it's already optimized for the keywords. Now all I have left to do, right, is add an actual post with solid content and then save it. And now that way I have the idea that I started with, I optimized first after doing a bit of keyword research. Now all I have to go in and do is get the content. And then this will be live, and I can, once it's live and saved, then what I can do, since this is in the features group, is say, okay, just to stay organized, I can move this to a different project now, this group. And which project would I move it to? I would move it to the blog, because the blog project is actually live posts, whereas this one is more planning, right? Do you see the different ways that you can kind of use things? And then keyword research, I have a keyword research group where I'm actually doing keyword research. And to do that, all as I do is, like, let's say I wanted more WP clone and duplication keywords. How that would work is I would go automatically generate groups, okay? And then I have to choose a keyword. So WordPress clone tool or something, right? The number of keywords I want to pull, let's keep it low, like 200. And then the minimum search volume, let's say 500. So then I'd click OK. And then what that's going to do is use the AdWords API, which is right now people are using it. So it will go in and pull in a bunch of keywords, right? Like this, where I can start like organizing them, designing them, moving them to new groups. So for instance, let's say I'm going to add a new group, WP clone, because I know I want to work on that. So I'll add that group here. And then what I can do is open up my keyword research group. And if I like any keywords that I think should be in this group rather than this unorganized mess, these little 6 stars, not Yoast, I can actually hold down my control key and start selecting different keywords, right, that I want to be in that group. And then I can drag them over into this group. So now they've been removed from this group to this group. So this is how, and when you saw my other groups that actually had keywords in them, that's how I do it. The other thing that I use is the keyword keg Chrome extension, which is free. And all I'll do is go to Google and do like WP clone, right? And what the keyword keg tool does is it tells me, well, this keyword has about 1,000 searches a month. And then I can look at related keywords, and I can look at down at the bottom suggested keywords, look at their volumes, and if there's something that I like, okay, so let's go back up here. So say like not Clone Academy, maybe WP Clone template. Maybe I like that keyword. I can go back into my project, right? And then if I want to add specific keywords, I just click add a new keyword, WP Clone template, WP, you know, say I knew the keywords. I can add specific keywords from other methods. It doesn't have to be generated from Project Supremacy. You can actually generate it anywhere you want using any tool you want. So like Keyword Supremacy, Keyword Keg, all the other tools, but you still can pull them into your plan. You can still get the data for all of them and work them into your optimization. So it's kind of a long answer there, John. I know I kind of went, I always do, I go down the path, but once again, it depends on what I need to do. So in a local, just to answer your question in a different way, in a local search scenario, so say something like printer repair Vancouver, which this site's being sold as we speak. This, I think I built like 3 links to this because it was such a low competition keyword. I don't have to worry about my anchor text portfolio, because if it only takes you 3 keywords to rank, then I just go after it really hard. My first keyword is printer repair Vancouver. My second keyword is printer repairs in Vancouver, British Columbia. And my third keyword would be something like maybe the URL, printer repair Vancouver. So it's still like a brand, but it's still got the keywords in it. So local sites, really, really easy. You can be really, really aggressive. Affiliate sites where you have a lot of competition, you have to use a bit of research, find out what other people are doing and kind of try to follow their methodology, use more brand, use more generic, and use less exact anchor text. So long way around to answer your question, but I wanted to be detailed with that. And I did want to record that just for, because showing off the project planner to other people is always a great deal. Hey, Leslie, we got a new person on. John says, thanks for a thorough explanation. It was very helpful. I noticed your blog posts have the same image on each one. Did you add the image each time you created the post? They actually aren't the same image. They just look like it, just because I'm very design conscious. So what I actually do is I use the same background image, but I update the words on them. So if I show you, this is Project Supremacy, those are actually words on an image: tagging and filtering, schema duplicator, building and assigning schema. So these are all actually images that look very, very similar. I just update the words. And then this one, I just was lazy. I didn't want to go and recreate this image and put new words on it. So I just used a picture of the schema generator for Project Supremacy v3. But yes, I do actually, so the feature here, sorry, the image here is assigned by the featured image in the WordPress blog, but I also use that image for Open Graph, and I'll show you why. So if I go into my posts, you can see the featured image shows up here. I don't have one set for this yet, but so let's go and say in the schema duplicator, we go into the post editor. I use a Veda theme on this site as well. So if I scroll over to this part, you can see set featured image. And most WordPress themes allow for a featured image, right? And then you use your WordPress settings to control how it looks on the individual blog post page, on the categories page and the archives page and shit like that. So like for instance, on the blog archives page, so when you just type in blog, it shows you all the posts in all the categories, right? And then it shows that big image, right, as a featured image. And I chose to make it look like that. I have other options to have like more of a masonry look, like stacked bricks, where this image still shows, but it's small and it's square, and there's like 4 columns by unlimited columns. But then if I go into the post, you'll notice that that image no longer shows up because what I chose to do is disable the featured image on the top of the blog for the actual post itself. I only want to show the featured image on the categories and archives page. So that's totally an optional thing for you. But the other place that it is important to think about when you're using a featured image is actually in your open graph. So if you go down to Project Supremacy on-page SEO tool and you click over to social, you can control what is shown when you share that specific blog post on social media. So if somebody was to visit, so let's go to that post again. Okay, so if somebody actually goes to this post and they're reading it and they like it and they want to share it, I, as the owner of the website, can control what it actually looks like through something called Open Graph. And you may or may not know this, but I'll go over it anyways. And that's where I use the same featured image that's on the blog as my my Open Graph property. So when it gets shared on social media, that same image is showing, and then I control the title and the description that are shown when shared on social media. So we have Twitter Open Graph settings and Facebook Open Graph settings. So when I build this blog post, I always do the social Open Graph properties too, because I want it to show up properly when it's shared on social media. Then the last thing I do is I always want to refresh the cache on Facebook, because a lot of times people will share one of their blog posts on Facebook and they're like, that's not the image I want, or that's not the description I want. And there's a couple of reasons for that. They either don't have Open Graph settings set up with a plugin like Project Supremacy SEO, and they're specifying, that means specifying what you want to show on social media, or they created a post, Facebook already went and spidered the post and grabbed what they thought was the Open Graph data, and they cached it, meaning when you share it again, they're getting an older version of what's actually there. So what we built into this was a direct link for this URL to the Facebook social sharing tool. So if I click this on my post, and I do this every time, what it does is it takes you right to the sharing debugger tool. And then what you want to do is you just want to, it'll tell you the last time that Facebook scraped this particular URL was February 22nd at 2:52 p.m. It's now 6 days later. So if within those 6 days I've made any updates, they won't show on Facebook until I say, no, Facebook, you need to go crawl that again, get the correct info. Okay, so and there you go, time scraped 2 seconds ago. Now this is what will show when I share it on Facebook. So if I copy this link, okay, and we go to Facebook, and I was going to share that link, I'm 100% certain now that exactly what I want to show is the thing that's going to show. So when I put in that URL and then it pops up, okay, it's just taking a second here. So there you go. The image, the description, and the title are exactly what I want. And now I can even delete the link now that it's populated, and I can say whatever I want and then share it. So that's how I'm handling the featured images and social images. Go ahead and ask any more questions. I'm just gonna go let out my dog. You can hear him scratching at the door. Yeah, no problem, John. And Leslie, if you have any questions about anything at all, please feel free to ask. It can be Project Supremacy, it can be Supremacy Digital, it can be any of our products. Are you, John, are you using that project planner? I literally can't do optimization on my sites anymore without it. It's too handy to me now. Like I feel like I have to have it. And it's also nice for me too, because I mean, the old way that I used, like I said, the old way that I used to, I don't think I said this, but I wrote this on a blog somewhere. The old way I used to do SEO optimization was literally going to all pages and then a page at a time, going through and updating everything I used to use Yoast. I used to use all-in-one SEO pack, but I would do my sites one at a time. I would do my keyword research somewhere else. I would do my optimization on the site one page at a time. I do my competition research on another window. And then eventually I created a spreadsheet to kind of pull all that data in. And then once the data was pulled in, I would go page to page and import it. But now with V3, that's why I like it so much, is because literally I just pull all the pages that I want to optimize into a dashboard, and I can look at everything from one place. You know, I can see, here's my title, URL, description, H1. I can see my title and description lengths. I can see my keywords. I can even see my ranking, which is cool. I don't know if you guys knew that, but like you can see right here, our schema, we're already ranking 9, 63, 70, and 91. And I just put this page up like 4 days ago. So these rankings are just purely from on-page optimization. So I'm gonna let those settle, and then I'm gonna add schema to those pages as well. And then once they settle more, and then I'll start backlinking them. But I have everything at my fingertips right here. Any more questions, guys? It's kind of a small show up today, so if you guys don't ask questions, we'll probably just have a short little webinar replay. So go ahead, I'll give you a few more minutes to ask any questions. Let my dog in. Probably looks like that's about it then, guys. We'll just make it short, make it quick. And thanks for coming on. Thanks for asking questions. And we'll, once again, just to keep updated of when and where everything is happening, there's always this page, supremacydigital.com events. That's for you if you're wanting to, like, you know, be proactive and go see when things are happening without us having to remind you. This is always there for you. And then, so here's February 28th today, right now, this one's happening. But we'll do better at getting notifying you guys of blogs for those people that are watching the replay and being like, I didn't get a notification. We'll do better at figuring out a way to notify everyone properly before the webinars without, I don't want to say spamming your inboxes, because we're not spamming you, but I don't want to overload your inbox with notifications for stuff either. So we'll figure something out. And thanks for coming on. Thanks for asking those few questions, because it gave me something to at least talk about, and then we can have a little bit of a replay. So we'll just end it there. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.